Chapter 46-20. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. Miss Elder Master is absurd. I'm just lucky. After Duan Lingtian smiled lightly, he looked at Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan at the side and said, after the discussion between Lord Xiao and the others is over, I will have a good talk with my senior sisters and senior brothers. Good. Huangfu Mingyuan also nodded with a chuckle. Her purpose of coming this time was naturally to witness the exchange between Realm Master Xiao and Jesuan Zhongshan, who came from the Ascension Realm. It is not always possible to see the world respecting each other. At least, she had never seen it with her own eyes. Master Duan Lingtian, in fact, we are not in a hurry. You seniors and brothers can talk about the past first. Zhongshan said repeatedly, extremely humble. This is Lord Duan Lingtian. Not only is he powerful, but he also saved his life. Wait a minute, what happened? He's okay. Yeah, we can discuss it later. Xiao Mubai also followed suit. No, it's fine for me and my senior sister and senior brother to go back and talk about the past in private. As Duan Lingshan's words fell, a group of the most powerful people in the god-defying realm around him dispersed to watch, their eyes filled with anticipation. Although this Duan Lingtian and others reminisce about the old days in public, they have no objection. However, he did not forget the purpose of this trip. Watch the battle of the world soon. Under the auspices of Duan Lingtian, Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan entered his inner body to fight in the small world. He specially allocated an area for them to have a hearty battle. Others also entered to watch the battle nearby. There is no need to hide too far, with Duan Lingtian present to protect them. Everyone can clearly see the movements of Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan who were right in front of them. Of course, when the two moved fast, most people still couldn't see clearly. After all, among the people present, there were only a few people above half-step world venerables. Apart from a few old world lords, there was only one Huangfu Mingyuan who was half-step world lord. As for the others, those who are stronger than the 4th level are okay, and the rest of the strongest, and those who are not even the strongest are more to feel an atmosphere. Because when Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan moved, they couldn't see anything clearly. They only saw two afterimages flashing and crossing each other. It was ridiculously fast. Lord Xiao adapts so quickly. Several old world masters, as well as Huangfu Mingyuan, also discovered in the process that Xiao Mubai was at a disadvantage at the beginning, but as the number of rounds increased, he gradually regained the advantage. After 100 tricks, he was on par with Zhang Shan. Of course, both of them didn't use the law to clone. It was just a confrontation between the real deities. After all, it was just a competition, not a fight for life and death. But, even so, Zhang Shan is still under great pressure. Now, a group of people are watching, even Lord Duan Lingtian is present. It seems that it is impossible for him to take down a person who has just broken through to the realm of respect. But, later on, he was helpless. Xiao Mubai, after getting used to it further, actually vaguely gained the upper hand. In the end, when he was thinking about whether he should use the law clone first, Xiao Mubai stopped first and said with a smile, Brother Zhang, let's count it as a tie for you and me today. Thank you for helping me familiarize myself with the power of Jiezun today. Hearing Xiao Mubai's words, Zhang Shan's eyes immediately showed gratitude, because he could tell that Xiao Mubai was giving him face and giving him a step down. Duan Lingtian was the only one who could see this at the scene. Even Huangfu Mingyuan and other half-step world venerables only thought that Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan were really tied. Even so, they were still shocked by Xiao Mubai's history. As soon as he broke through, he was able to draw a tie with Zhang Shan, who had been famous in the upper 3 realms for many years, and was able to draw a tie. Zhang Shan, although he is not a top-notch world venerable in the upper 3 realms, he is still very famous as a world venerable, not only famous in the upper 3 realms, but also famous in the middle 18 realms. The most powerful people in the god-defying realm present basically knew Zhang Shan's existence long ago. A contest between Jesuan left the presence of several half-step Jesuan and the existence of the 4th level Xian still unsatisfied, and they wished for another confrontation between the two. Of course, they also know that this match has ended, and if they want to watch the two fight again, they may have to wait until the next time the two make an appointment. Congratulations to Realm Master Xiao. You have such combat power just after entering the realm of the realm. This is my blessing against the god realm. Several old world masters congratulated Xiao Mubai one after another, and their eyes were full of envy. At the same time, they said to Xiao Mubai through sound transmission, Master Xiao, I don't know if you can ask Lord Duan Lingtian to give us a small stove when you have time? Xiao Mubai was able to break through so quickly. Of course, there was a reason why Xiao Mutian was more talented than them, but they also knew that it was absolutely impossible to break through so quickly with Xiao Mubai alone. Among them, a large part of the reason is because Xiao Mubai and Duan Lingtian are close. If you get close, you will naturally get the moon first. Asking some questions about cultivation and listening to the other party sermons are just commonplace. I can only say my best. Xiao Mubai naturally didn't dare to promise. After all, even if he asked Duan Lingtian himself to ask questions, he himself felt a little embarrassed when he came down many times. Of course, he had given Duan Lingtian some help before Duan Lingtian grew up. However, those help, if you really count it seriously, Duan Lingtian has already paid it off. Now, he owes Duan Lingtian everything. Moreover, he will definitely continue to ask Duan Lingtian for advice in the future. His next goal is to enter the Tongtian Tower, pass through many checkpoints, and get the talisman of the Tao of Heaven. And then, he will hit the Xian 7th level to fulfill his father's unfulfilled dream. Therefore, the most he can do is to help a few people raise their mouths. As for the outcome, the decision rests entirely with Duan Lingtian himself. Everyone, then I will leave first with my senior sister and senior brother. Duan Lingtian looked around at Xiao Mubai, Zhang Shan and others, nodded his head, then greeted Huangfu Mingyuan and the others, and followed them back to the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. Without disturbing the others, they directly returned to the independent plain where the inner palace lineage was located. As for Xiajie and Xiayu, they returned to the Xia family with the ancestor of the most powerful person in the Xia family. Junior brother, you and your master are both at the 7th level of the strongest. Your strength is about the same, or are you stronger than him? Fourth senior sister Lang Chunyuan blinked her big eyes, asking Duan Lingtian like a curious baby. In fact, she wanted to ask a long time ago, but the elder sister has been staring at her, making her unable to talk. Roughly the same. Duan Lingtian smiled and said, it is naturally impossible not to give face to his master, even if it is not the case. In the next chat with several senior brothers and sisters, Duan Lingtian lost his mind for a while. After being distracted for a moment, he came back to his senses. There was something wrong with the land left behind by the gods, but the time law avatar he stayed at Xia's side could solve it. It was his son Duan Yintian who was asking him for help. Chapter 46-21. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. That day, when he broke through and achieved the 7th level of cultivation, when he returned to Nishan Realm to reunite with his parents and wife, his 2 children, Duan Yintian and Duan Xiling, were wandering outside. Later, they waited until they came back, and finally followed him to the land left by the gods. They were also the first to ask to venture outside. As his children, they regard him as an idol, especially after knowing that the Nishan Realm Duan Lingtian announced in Tiando's text is their father. They are like chicken blood. They all want to walk a legendary road and prove to the world that a tiger father has no dog sons, and a tiger father has no dog daughters. Speaking of which, the reason why his wives wanted to make a fortune in the future was because of the influence of the 2 youngsters, and they all felt that they could not be compared by the younger generation. For a while, it made him a lonely man. Of course, they are all in the new land of gods that has been transformed into the small world in his body. If he wants to meet them, he can do so at any time, so they are allowed to go. As long as they are happy. Father, has Xiling asked you for help? Duan Lingtian never expected that his son Duan Nianshan's first words would be like this when his Law of Time avatar arrived at the scene for the first time. This kid, is he still competing with his sister? No. Duan Lingtian didn't care whether to hit this kid or not, because he had heard that in those years when he was not around, he was the most jumpy kid, and he had experienced life and death several times. As for the reason why he did this, his own mother Li Fei also told Duan Lingtian that he was not reconciled to being inferior to his sister in strength. Speaking of his daughter Duan Xiling, under the arrangement of his master Feng Qingyang, she experienced a baptism of the law of time, so that she has a deep knowledge of the law of time. In terms of cultivation, his son is not weaker than his daughter, but in terms of comprehension of the law, it is much worse. There's none? Hearing his father's words, Duan Yintian couldn't hide the disappointment on his face. Now Duan Yintian has already grown up, with a tall and straight figure, sword eyebrows and star eyes. Between 6 or 7 points of the brows is similar to Duan Lingtian, and the rest is similar to his motherly Fei. Who are you? Seeing the strange appearance of the purple-clothed youth, several people besieged and killed Duan Yintian. Their faces changed, and their eyes showed fear, because they didn't know how the other party appeared. What does that mean? It means that the opponent's strength is likely to be far above them. Didn't you hear what he called me? Duan Lingtian glanced at them lightly, raised his hand casually. The void shook, their movements froze. Their mouths that hadn't closed in time seemed unable to close anymore. Then, several people's bodies shook, and they were rapidly aging visible to the naked eye. The middle-aged people turned into old people, and the old people turned into mummy. In the next moment, the mummy turned into dust and scattered, and the old man also experienced the second change of mummy and dust and disappeared in smoke. Under the blessing of the domineering law of time, the few people who were still alive quickly aged and even died, turning into dust in the long river of time. Under Duan Lingshan's law of time, the so-called eternal life seems to have become a joke. Certainly, Duan Lingtian was able to achieve this step, most importantly because the strength of the few people was much worse than him. If it were a Xian, even if it was only the bottom of the Xian's first level, he would not be able to do this step. The law of time. Seeing his father's attack, Duan Nianshan's face became more and more bitter. He knew that his father was best at the law of space, but now he deliberately used the law of time. Is this meant to remind him that he can't possibly match up to his sister? After all, what his sister is good at is the law of time. It's also because Duan Lingtian doesn't know what his son is thinking now, otherwise he would definitely kick him on the spot. He is the avatar of the law of time. Besides the law of time, what laws can he use? I know you are so strong. You always want to compare with your sister. Although he doesn't know what his son is thinking now, Duan Lingtian is clear about his desire to compare himself with his daughter, but what I want to say is, don't lower your horizons so low. To compare, just compare with your father and me. Compared to your sister, what kind of ability and man are you? Your sister's attainment in the law of time is due to chance. Now that you have the supreme godhead I gave you, you will be able to catch up with her in the law sooner or later. The gap between you will only become smaller and smaller. In the journey of cultivation, the most taboo is to be fast in one discipline, and steady is the kingly way. As for Duan Yintian, it was okay to hear his father's previous words, but when he heard the last sentence, his eyes couldn't help but become weird. Steady? His father, at how old he is now, is standing on top of a group of old antiques. As far as he is concerned, is he ashamed to mention steady? Okay, you can continue your training. I'll go see your sister. Seeing his son's strange gaze, Duan Lingtian waved his hand impatiently, then sensed the position of his daughter Duan Xiling and passed. When he found his daughter, Duan Lingtian found that she was cultivating in an inn in a city. The surroundings were quiet and there was no danger. Seeing this, he looked satisfied. It was his daughter who reassured him. He didn't show up, just waited quietly for a while, and then left. If the daughter really wanted to be in danger, she would naturally crush the jade slips he gave her. When Duan Lingshan's law of time avatar returned to Xia's house, his deity also learned what happened after he left in the communication with the senior brothers and senior sisters from the inner palace of Wanfa Academy. Not long after he left the god-defying realm and went to a place outside the realm, the elder sister Huangfu Mingyuan came back, took away 2 senior brothers, and took them to a place outside the realm. The younger junior sister is left alone to guard the line of the inner palace. Although this time was the first time meeting with the senior sister Huangfu Mingyuan, after some exchanges after getting to know each other, he still couldn't help but sigh how enchanting this senior sister is. Although she is a daughter, her talent is not inferior to that of a man, and the opportunities are not bad. Otherwise, it would be difficult to achieve such achievements at such an age. Among the most powerful people in the Nishan realm, the world lord Xiao Mubai is considered young, and he once set a record as the youngest half-step world venerable in the Nishan realm. And now, his senior sister has undoubtedly broken this record. Little brother, tell me, I chose to break through to the most powerful realm and face the taboo realm of catastrophe. Is this the right choice? Huang Fu Mingyuan asked. Duan Lingtian smiled and said, Big sister, the taboo realm heavenly tribulation faced by the high-level gods is actually not that simple. Otherwise, after the history is cut off, before me, it is impossible that there is no high-level person in the world, or even the place outside the world. God Venerable succeeded in crossing the catastrophe. Duan Lingtian knew that the reason why he was able to succeed was because he had inherited this trump card that the old man Wukong had remembered all his life. Chapter 46-22. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. If he hadn't inherited the memory of the old man Wukong, he felt that the possibility of successfully surviving the taboo realm and the catastrophe with his cultivation as a high ranking would be less than 30%. Now, there are 3 heavenly talismans in Tongtian Pagoda. As long as you get them after stepping into the realm of Venerable Realm, senior sister, you will be better prepared later. It is not particularly difficult to survive the taboo realm. Duan Lingtian continued. I'm afraid there is still a lot of difficulty. Huang Fu Mingyuan smiled wryly. After Lei Hong in the Mingguang realm, Fang Yifan, the top world venerable in the Feathering realm who was as famous as him, died in the Forbidden realm. Since then, no one has survived the Forbidden realm. Jia, step into the 7th level of the strongest. Although she has just stepped into the Xian realm not long ago, she also knows a lot of news, because she also has a familiar saint in the outside world. Because she is an invincible high-ranking god, the saint was very polite to her. Even Lei Hong, it is said that after breaking through and advancing, he couldn't heal his injuries. In addition, he suffered from injuries for nearly 100 years before returning to Qinghong sect in Mingguang realm. Huang Fu Mingyuan frowned slightly between her words. Just because she stepped into the strongest realm after Lei Hong successfully crossed the tribulation. Before Lei Hong, there was also a sage in the outer world who successfully took the most critical step, allowing her to see the hope of further breakthroughs for the sage and Jesuin. Unexpectedly, not long after he broke through to become a half-step world venerable, he heard that Fang Yifan, who was not weaker than Lei Hong in the Mingguang realm, had died. This blow and impact on her is not insignificant. Moreover, since then, there have been no words of the way of heaven, saying who has survived the catastrophe of the promotion. As for the sage from the outer realm who broke through before Lei Hong, he was able to break through easily and healed from his injuries after the breakthrough. It is said that it is also because he has the 4th heavenly Dao talisman. Obviously, Huang Fu Mingyuan did her homework well. After listening to Huang Fu Mingyuan's words, Duan Lingtian shook his head and smiled. Elder sister, actually you don't need to worry so much. Just like I said just now, after you step into the realm of realm and get the talisman of the Tao of Heaven, you just need to make more preparations. Some people, because of the 10,000 years of catastrophe that the strongest must face, seeing that they can't bear it anymore, they have to face the taboo realm of catastrophe in a hurry. You are so young, what are you worried about? Then Lei Hong and Fang Yifan, in the 10,000 realms, are indeed top-notch world venerables. But is their strength the limit of the world venerables? Maybe not. Lei Hong is considered to be relatively young among the top world respecters, but when he was your age, did he have your strength? After you get the heavenly Dao talisman, gobble it up and step into the 7th level. You can comprehend a few more of the other laws to reach the state of lesser perfection. If conditions permit, comprehend the 2nd law to reach the state of great perfection. In this case, with the help of the avatar of the law and the help of the amulet of heaven, are you still worried that you won't be able to survive the taboo realm? To be honest, with the help of the heavenly Dao talisman, a talented Jesuin like you, with the help of the heavenly Dao talisman, really doesn't have to worry about the taboo realm of catastrophe. These, Duan Lingtian not only thought of it himself, but also deliberately went to understand it. As for the person to know, it is Zhang Shan, the world venerable who led his family to migrate from the Yuhua world to the Nishan world. Zhang Shan has a deep understanding of a group of world lords in the 10,000 world. According to Zhang Shan, before he and his master broke through in the past, Lei Hong was relatively young among the top world masters in the 10,000 realms. Lei Hong and the others all have the opportunity to break through other laws, increase their strength through the avatar of the law, and surpass other top world venerables in the world. Because they are still young, even the next few 10,000-year catastrophes will not pose much threat to them. Lei Hong, if he hadn't been in a hurry to face the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation last time, and had waited 10,000 to 20,000 years for a further breakthrough in strength, and then faced the forbidden realm of heavenly tribulation, not to mention easy, but it would definitely be easier than last time. As for Fang Yifan, he is actually not too old. The next 10,000-year catastrophe is not life-threatening for him. Most likely he was influenced by Lei Hong, so he rushed to go to the catastrophe, but he didn't expect to die in the end. After listening to Duan Lingshan's words, Huang Fu Minjiwan's eyes lit up immediately. It has to be said that Duan Lingshan's words gave her enough confidence. Yes, she is still young now, and she has not even come to face the first 10,000 years of catastrophe as a powerhouse. She is already a half-step world venerable. As long as she swallows one step further, she is a world venerable. Suddenly, Duan Lingtian seemed to have noticed something, and suddenly raised his head to look at the sky. I saw that the originally blue sky in the small plain where the inner palace branch of the Wanfa Academy Palace was located suddenly dimmed, and there was a faint electric snake shaking in the distance. Haha. After I just said about Lei Hong, no one has survived the taboo realm, and I didn't expect someone to successfully cross the catastrophe so soon. Duan Lingtian laughed. He was very familiar with this kind of scene. Ever since he stepped into the strongest 7th level, his 5 senses were sharper than even Jie Zun could match, and he immediately noticed the strangeness in this small plane. The scene in front of me is no different from the scene before Meng Han and Lei Hong passed through the taboo realm of heavenly tribulation, and the words of the way of heaven appeared. What does that mean? Undoubtedly, the words of the Tao of heaven are about to appear again. The appearance of the words of the way of heaven is most likely to announce who has survived the taboo realm. Who could it be? Duan Lingtian had a bit of curiosity in his eyes. At the same time, Feng Qingyang, who was in the plane of the heavens, nirvana, suddenly looked up at the sky. Just like Duan Lingtian, he also guessed what would happen next. Is the 5th person who has survived the catastrophe of the taboo realm. I don't know if it's the world master of myriad realms, or a saint from a place outside the world. Feng Qingyang's heart moved, and there was a little more expectation in his eyes. Boom! Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang's expected earth-shattering thunder sounded at the right time, disturbing all living beings in the 10,000 worlds and even the land outside the world. For a moment, everyone looked up at the sky. At this time, more people reacted. This is, the heavenly Tao text will appear again? Anyone else survive the taboo realm? Who is it? This scene is not unfamiliar to everyone. Some Jesuit and saints from myriad worlds and outer worlds who have recently obtained the heavenly Tao talisman and even recovered from the injuries suffered in the Tongtian Tower, but still dare not face the taboo realm heavenly tribulation, are all showing their eyes. Under their curiosity and expectation, the horizon changes again. I saw the dark clouds in the sky parted, and a line of golden words of the Tao of heaven appeared in front of everyone's eyes at the right time. Chapter 46-23. Congratulations to Agili of the Hongming realm, with the 6th level cultivation base of the strongest, successfully passed the taboo realm, and is expected to become the 5th strongest and 7th level powerhouse after the history is cut off, surpassing Jesuin and saints. Even though I have seen the characters of Heaven's Tao many times in the past, the appearance of the characters of Heaven's Tao this time is still shocking and horrifying. Due to cache reasons, users are requested to directly visit the Encom website to watch the fastest chapter update. As most people guessed, someone has survived the taboo realm. Moreover, the one who succeeded in crossing the tribulation this time was the world venerable powerhouse of myriad worlds. Why is it the world venerable of myriad realms, and not the saint of our land outside the world? What's the situation? All the world venerables of myriad realms are so strong? So far, a total of 5 people have survived the taboo realm, and 4 of them are from the myriad realms. Myriad realms, is it possible that they are specially favored by the Tao of heaven? People outside the world are all boiling at this time, thinking that this is not in line with common sense. There are 5 people, and it's okay to occupy 2 of them in the land outside the boundary, but only 1 was occupied. A world venerable of 10,000 realms has passed through the taboo realm. Wouldn't the next step be to break through immediately? Many people think so. And almost at the moment when their thoughts fell, a new heavenly Tao text appeared. Congratulations to Agili of the Hongming realm. After surviving the catastrophe of the taboo realm, he successfully broke through and became the 5th, strongest, 7th-level existence after the historical barrier, surpassing Jesuin and saints. It is no longer an exception to break through when you succeed in crossing the tribulation. Previously, whether it was Ming Han in the outer realm or Lei Hong in the bright light realm, they all broke through after successfully crossing the tribulation, because without exception, they were all existences of the 6th-level Xian. Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang from the God-defying realm were the only ones who failed to cross the catastrophe and break through, because when the 2 successfully crossed the tribulation, they were not even the strongest. It's okay for Feng Qingyang, although he didn't break through the tribulation, but he stepped into the 7th level of Xian not long after he successfully crossed the catastrophe. Only Duan Lingtian completed the breakthrough after a long time after successfully crossing the tribulation. Of course, all the existences above the upper gods basically guessed the reason. Agili. In the small plain of the inner palace of Wanfa Academy, Duan Lingtian, who was still staying beside the 2 senior sisters and 2 senior brothers, couldn't help but raise his eyebrows when he saw the name in the Tiandao script. He has heard of this man. He is one of the top world venerables in the upper 3 realms, and he is as famous as Lei Hong and Fang Yifan. He is not even old, and is a generation younger than Lei Hong. Like Lei Hong, he is recognized as a young and top-notch world respecter in the upper 3 worlds. This Agili. If Duan Lingtian remembered correctly, he heard from Xiao Mubai that before Fang Yifan failed to cross the catastrophe, this Agili had already obtained the heavenly Tao talisman, but it seemed that he hadn't attracted the taboo realm for a long time. Unexpectedly, today's breakthrough was successful and a crucial step was taken. Agili from the primordial realm should be well prepared. At this time, the elder sister Huangfu Mingyuan spoke. Her eyes were shining brightly, and the depths of her eyes were full of anticipation. If it is said that the death of Fang Yifan in the feathering world has greatly weakened her confidence, well, what his junior brother Duan Lingtian said just now, and Agila's successful crossing of the tribulation in the primordial realm, gave her strong confidence. Even the confidence is greater than before at the beginning. Whether it's Lei Hong from the bright light realm or Agili from the primordial realm, at her current age, she doesn't have her current strength at all. They can all succeed. Why can't I? At the same time, all walks of life in the 10,000 realms were also shaken at this time, especially the Hongming realm, one of the upper 3 realms. In the upper 3 realms, Lei Hong, the top realm respecter in the Mingguang realm, was the first to break through. To a certain extent, it also put a lot of pressure on the other 2 realms. Many people speculated that Fang Yifan in the Mingguang realm probably felt the pressure. So after a period of time after Lei Hong's breakthrough, he chose to face the taboo realm of catastrophe. It just failed. After that, no matter whether it is the top world venerable of the myriad worlds or the best of the saints outside the world, even if they get the amulet of heaven, they dare not rashly attract the taboo realm catastrophe, and they are all afraid of following in the footsteps of Yifan above. But today, the breakthrough of Agili, the top world respecter in the Hongming world, once again revived the hearts of these people. Agili succeeded. It seems that Fang Yifan's death was just an accident. I don't know if Agili went back after breaking through. If he went back, it means that his injuries are not serious. The injuries he suffered during the tribulation are definitely not as serious as Lei Hong's original. All of a sudden, the powerhouses of the great world venerable forces in the upper 3 realms went to the Ada Gang tribe in the Grand Mist realm, which was also one of the great world venerable forces in the Grand Mist realm. Agili is the only Jesuin of the Ada Gang tribe. However, after Lei Hong broke through last time, Agili left the Ada Gang tribe and hid from Lei Hong, fearing that Lei Hong would catch up and strangle him. Now, most of the people from the major world venerable forces going to the Adagang tribe are half-step Jesuin, and few Jesuin go out in person. They are still avoiding Lei Hong. Master Aguli is back? When they came to the Adagang tribe, they quickly confirmed one thing. Aguli is back. Although Aguli didn't show up and they were received by other members of the Adagang tribe, since Aguli came back, even if he was still injured, it must not be serious. Can we gradually become Master Aguli? That's right. My uncle is also preparing to face the taboo realm of catastrophe recently. Let me come to Master Aguli to learn from him on his behalf. The great powers of the upper three worlds came to ask Aguli how he survived the taboo realm of catastrophe. For this reason, there are half-step Jesuin from the 18 realms in China. Even, Xiao Mubai personally came over to Nishan realm. With Xiao Mubai's appearance, Jesun's aura did not restrain himself, and soon attracted everyone's attention. Isn't this the Lord Xiao Mubai from the God-defying realm? In the crowd, someone soon recognized Xiao Mubai. The previous Nishan realm was just a mediocre realm among the 18 realms, and it didn't attract much attention. But ever since the people from the Nishan realm took the lead in overcoming the taboo realm, they suddenly made the Nishan realm famous, making people afraid to underestimate this middle-level realm. Lord Xiao, you broke through? I didn't expect World Master Xiao to break through. It's amazing. It's amazing. After breaking through, Xiao Mubai welcomed many people's initiative to congratulate him. Some people can't help but think, the Jezun from the God-defying realm suddenly appeared. Wouldn't he be afraid that the one from the Mingguang realm would attack him and kill him? That one. I'm afraid he hates the God-defying realm so much now. And at the same time when many people came up with similar thoughts, boom, suddenly, an earth-shattering loud noise came out of nowhere. Immediately, I saw a terrifying force tearing apart the space, like a meteor hammer whistling from a distance, aiming at Xiao Mubai. Chapter 46-24. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. The terrifying power made everyone present tremble. Even several world venerables including Xiao Mubai. All of them changed their expressions at this time, and they all felt the fear of the person who made the shot, definitely far surpassing the world venerable. It's Lei Hong. When the terrifying force was getting closer, someone saw the tall figure rushing after that force, recognized the person who came, and exclaimed. At this moment, everyone felt their scalps go numb. A moment ago, they were still thinking that Xiao Mubai, as the lord of the Nishan realm, had just stepped into the venerable realm and ran out. Aren't you afraid of being targeted by Lei Hong from the Mingguang realm? After all, the last time Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm went to Mingguang realm to kill the two sects behind Lei Hong, and one of them was Jezun. Lei Hong is notoriously a person who will take revenge. Duan Lingshan's actions undoubtedly pushed the entire God-defying realm to the opposite of Lei Hong. As long as there is a chance, Lei Hong will never let the people of the God-defying realm go. Lei Hong might not be interested in killing the general powerhouses in the Nishan realm if they have nothing to do with Duan Lingtian, the world lord of the reversible god realm and a newly promoted world venerable. It's okay if Lei Hong doesn't know. If he knows, he will definitely not easily let the other party walk out of the reversible god realm. And indeed it is. Xiao Mubai just came outside the Adagang tribe of the Hongming Jesuin faction where Aguli was, and was intercepted and killed by Lei Hong before he could enter it. Region. An indifferent voice resounded in all directions, and suddenly reached everyone's ears. Then, when everyone came back to their senses, they saw a purple figure coming out from the dark place, and they shot like lightning, blocking Lei Hong's attack on Xiao Mubai. Crash. Lei Hong's offensive, meeting the opponent's strength, did not make any big movements, but stopped halfway, quickly lost, and even disappeared. The law of time. Many people exhaled in a low voice, and it could be seen that the young man in purple who made the move behind him was using the law of law, which was the law of time. It's Duan Lingtian from the God-defying realm. Someone recognized Duan Lingtian. Isn't Duan Lingtian good at the law of space? This is his clone of the law of time? I really didn't expect that he also comprehended the law of time to the realm of small perfection. Someone who knew Duan Lingtian better couldn't help but exclaim in a tone of astonishment. It was Duan Lingshan's Law of Time clone who suddenly appeared at this time. Even if it is the avatar of the Law of Time, no one can see that it is just an avatar of the law if it is not shot, if it is not probed by people in the same realm with divine sense. Duan Lingtian stood in the void with a tall and straight figure, looking sternly at Lei Hong, who had come close and was confronted by him, who had been defeated by him. Lei Hong, you are really careful, and only one law avatar came. Duan Lingtian smiled contemptuously. If you only have one law avatar, I'm afraid you won't be able to keep the world lord of the god-defying realm today. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Lei Hong's law avatar sneered coldly. Duan Lingtian, I didn't expect that you still have the habit of guarding the weak in the god-defying world. Isn't it embarrassing for a dignified 7th-level Xian to protect the Tao for a newcomer? Lei Hong's eyes were full of contempt, as if he looked down on Duan Lingtian. It would be shameful if you, Lei Hong, killed me, the lord of the god-defying realm. Duan Lingtian sneered, and then struck like thunder, fighting with Lei Hong. Although, with the strength of Duan Lingshan's law clone, it is not difficult to destroy Lei Hong's law clone, but he has no intention of doing that. It's just a clone of the law, so what if it's destroyed? It doesn't affect Lei Hong's deity at all. At most, it will take some more time to reshape such a rule clone. Lei Hong's avatar of this law, the law mastered, is also the law of the small perfection realm. In the case that Duan Lingtian deliberately hid the way of infinity and the way of control, it was a tie with Lei Hong for a short time. Boom. Rumble. The confrontation between the two seems to be understated, but every time they make a move, the void shakes and the space collapses. Except for a few Jiezun present, everyone retreats to the distance one after another, fearing that they will be affected. Of course, Lei Hong only drew with Duan Lingtian in a short period of time. Although they are also the law avatars of the small perfection realm, and the 4 ways of heaven and earth are also at the 7th level, but Duan Lingshan's time law is one of the 4 supreme laws after all. Soon, after 100 moves, he faintly gained the upper hand. At this time, the gate of the Adagang tribe seemed to have been turned upside down and devastated, and the buildings of the Adagang tribe that were closer were also completely destroyed by the aftermath of the force. Suddenly, without any warning from the audience, Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong quickly separated and faced each other again. This scene also made everyone stunned. Why did you stop? Duan Lingtian, with the advantage of the law of time, has already begun to gain the upper hand. However, soon, several Jesuin, including Xiao Mubai, turned their heads and looked at the depths of the Adagang tribe. There was a figure walking towards the sky unhurriedly. Every step he took, the void was shaken, and his spiritual consciousness gradually spread, and soon Xiao Mubai and others felt great pressure. Extreme 7th level. It's Aguli from the Adagang tribe. Now, no need to guess. They have also thought of the identity of the person who came. It is the newly promoted 7th level powerhouse of the Adagang tribe, Aguli. Behind Aguli, a group of figures quickly appeared. It was a group of powerful men from the Adagang tribe. From the half-step world venerable to the ordinary strong men, all those who were in the tribe came out. You two, if you want to fight, please go farther away and fight. This is the territory of my Adagang tribe. Aguli, who is the leader, is a strong young man about 2 meters tall. He is dressed in a loose white robe, with short hair, a resolute face, and abyss-like eyes. When he spoke, his tone was quite unkind. Aguli. At this time, seeing Aguli appearing, Lei Hong's law clone passed through sound transmission. Aguli, join hands with me? How about destroying this Ling Tian's law clone? You and I are both top powerhouses in the upper 3 realms. Presumably, you don't want the middle realms of the Nishan realm to rise up and be on an equal footing with our upper 3 realms, right? In Lei Hong's view, as long as Aguli is willing to take action and destroy Duan Lingshan's law clone, he will be able to kill this newly promoted world venerable from the god-defying realm. This newly promoted world venerable from the Nishan realm, here comes the real one. If you can really kill the opponent, you will make a lot of money. Aguli. At this time, after Aguli spoke, everyone's eyes, including Duan Lingtian, also fell on Aguli. Chapter 46-25. Hearing Lei Hong's sound transmission, Aguli also glanced at Duan Lingshan's law clone for the first time, and then looked at Xiao Mubai. He guessed Lei Hong's purpose. Destroying Duan Lingshan's law avatar, everyone knows that it will have little impact on Duan Lingtian. However, the newly promoted world venerable from the god-defying realm did not come from the avatar of the law, but from the deity. In the past, Lei Hong's law avatar appeared in Mingguang realm, intending to kill Jesuan Zhongshan, but was killed by Duan Lingtian himself. He had already heard about it. It was also because of this that he knew that as long as he stepped into the 7th level of Xian, the avatar of the law would no longer be the same as before. His eyes would be dull, and he could tell at a glance that it was the avatar rather than the deity. Moreover, when he broke through recently, he found that his originally condensed law avatar, those godless eyes, were all endowed with spirituality, and at first glance it was no different from the deity. Of course, if you probe deeply with your spiritual sense, you can still detect abnormalities. Lei Hong, now we only have 2 7th-level Xians in the upper 3 realms. Offending Duan Lingtian is equivalent to offending 2 7th-level Xians in the god-defying realm at once. Aguli responded indifferently. So, am not interested in your suggestion. What's more, he didn't communicate with Lei Hong through sound transmission, but directly spoke back. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding group of people were in an uproar. Lei Hong actually invited Aguli to attack Duan Lingtian together. This Lei Hong is trying to pull Aguli into his own camp and together target Duan Lingtian. Obviously, Aguli didn't intend to talk to him. That's natural. There is no enmity between Aguli and Duan Lingtian. So why bother to provoke Duan Lingtian? You know, even if Duan Lingtian knew that Lei Hong was behind the Qinghong sacred sect, he still killed the Qinghong sacred sect's lord and the world venerable. Aguli dares to join forces with Lei Hong. Maybe Duan Lingshan's deity will come in person later and directly attack the Adagang tribe. Speaking of others, they felt that even if Aguli offended the other party might not take action against the Adagang tribe. But Duan Lingtian is different. This one has a criminal record. Laugh. After Aguli rejected Lei Hong, Duan Lingshan's legal avatar sneered, Lei Hong, if you want to destroy my legal avatar, I advise you to let your real deity come here in person. However, according to my estimation, you may not have the guts. After the sneer, there is sarcasm. Of course, it can be regarded as an above-board aggressive method. At this moment, Duan Lingtian is not only the law avatar, even his true self has already come to this primordial realm, hiding behind the nearby space barrier. As long as Lei Hong's true self dares to show up, he can keep Lei Hong here forever today. Speaking of which, he came out this time just for fishing. Fish and kill Lei Hong. As for why he suddenly had this idea, it was because Xiao Mubai said that many people went to the primordial realm to see if Aguli had returned to his own forces, so as to judge whether it was easier for Aguli to cross the tribulation than Lei Hong. After all, Lei Hong was injured for decades before returning to Qinghong Shengzong. If Aguli was also seriously injured, it would be impossible to turn back to the forces behind him so quickly. He had a flash of inspiration and felt that Lei Hong might also pass by. Therefore, let Xiao Mubai himself go to the Adagang tribe in the Hongming realm, and he uses his body plus the law of time to hide in the dark to protect Xiao Mubai. This time fishing, he also thought that he might only be able to catch Lei Hong's clone of the law, but he still had a thought in his heart. What if Lei Hong's deity is really there? Because of this, when the law of Lei Hong appeared, he only appeared with the law of time, and the deity was still hiding well, and had no plans to come out for the time being. At least, until Lei Hong's deity shows up, his deity will not come out. Snored. Hearing Agul's response, Lei Hong glanced at him indifferently, then snorted coldly. In the end, the law clone quickly retreated, preparing to flee. However, how could Duan Lingtian let him leave? The law of time avatar immediately pursued and blocked him, fought fiercely with him again, and once again set off a storm in all directions. The space is sunken and collapsed, and the more you fight, the more intense it is. And with the passage of time, Duan Lingshan's law of time avatar has completely gained the upper hand. As for the Ada Gang tribe, Aguli, who appeared to protect them, no longer suffered any losses. Now, besides observing Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong's law clone battle, many of the crowd watching are also observing Aguli, and there is no sign of Aguli being injured at all. You said, the Aguli who is showing up now, is the avatar of the law, or the deity? I don't know, I can't tell. Now, if he doesn't make a move, unless the existence above the 7th level of Xion investigates him deeply with spiritual consciousness, it may be difficult to confirm whether it is the deity or the clone of the law. A group of half-step world venerables observing Aguli whispered to each other through sound transmission. Aguli himself, while protecting the Ada Gang tribe, watched the battle between Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong's deity, and his heart was awe-inspiring. This Lingtian is really a monster. How old is it? Not only the law of space has been comprehended to the state of great perfection, but even the law of time has been comprehended to the state of lesser perfection. Although, he already knew that Duan Lingtian had stepped into the 7th level of Xion. However, in his opinion, Duan Lingtian was able to survive the Taboo Realm catastrophe because of his age after all, because he was a high-ranking deity, and the difficulty of crossing the catastrophe was not as difficult as that of the strongest. He didn't expect Duan Lingtian to comprehend the second law to the state of small perfection. After all, it requires a high level of comprehension and takes a long time. Who would have thought that Duan Lingtian not only did it, but this law is also one of the 4 supreme laws like the law of space. Lei Hong's law avatar is about to be defeated. When the idea of Aguli had just arisen, Lei Hong's law avatar finally couldn't resist Duan Lingshan's law avatar's storm-like offensive and was defeated in one fell swoop. Before Lei Hong's law clone was defeated, Lei Hong also left a sinister word. Duan Lingtian, I will let you know that being an enemy of Lei Hong is the worst decision you have ever made in your life. At the same time as the ruthless words fell, Lei Hong's legal avatar was also wiped out. From beginning to end, his deity did not show up. You didn't come? Although he was mentally prepared, Duan Lingtian was still a little disappointed at this moment. It would be great if Lei Hong himself came, and he took this opportunity to eliminate this hidden danger. It's a pity that Lei Hong was too careful. At this time, Aguli faced Duan Lingshan's law clone from the air. Brother Duan Lingtian, I, Aguli, admire how strong your law clone is. Looking at the current world, among all the existences who have stepped into the 7th level of the strongest, I am afraid that no one's law clone can be as strong as your law clone. The most powerful person in the world, the law that he is best at follows the deity closely, and that law cannot condense the law clone. Law clones that can only condense the rest of the laws. As soon as Aguli opened his mouth, he was expressing goodwill to Duan Lingtian, which was completely different from Lei Hong's attitude towards Duan Lingtian. As the saying goes, if you don't raise your hand to hit a smiling person, Duan Lingtian turned around and looked at Aguli from a distance and said with a calm smile, Brother Aguli, it seems that you have hidden your strength in the past. Lei Hong, I'm afraid I don't deserve to be as famous as you. Chapter 46-26. What Duan Lingtian said was not intended to flatter the other party, but to tell the truth. He saw that the Aguli in front of him was not a clone of the law, but the deity. To be precise, it was Aguli who took the initiative to protect the Ada Gang tribe just now. Although he concealed it, the power of the law faintly mobilized was still detected by the Jingshi Shenshui of the small world in his body. After confirming that Lei Hong's deity is not there, after destroying Lei Hong's law clone, his deity also came out from behind the space barrier, hiding in the dark and looking at this place. Water system law. The world-cleaning water of the small world in his body is keenly aware of the laws of the water system. In addition, he has long heard that Aguli, the top world master in the Hongming world, is good at the laws of the water system. From this, it is not difficult to judge that the other party is the deity. The deity showed up and obviously had no injuries. It can be seen that he passed through the taboo realm with great ease. Even if he was injured, he healed when he broke through. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Aguli secretly sucked in a breath of air, and naturally heard the hidden meaning in Duan Lingshan's words. This genius and strong man from the god-defying realm was really extraordinary, and he discovered that he came from the deity. He has suppressed the laws of the water system that resonated with his power in the world as much as possible. Taking a deep breath, Agili smiled and said, "My past strength, I didn't deliberately hide it. It is indeed comparable to Lei Hong. It's just that before facing the taboo realm and the catastrophe this time, I have taken my achievements in other laws one step further." As soon as Agili said this, Duan Lingtian suddenly realized that it was exactly as he thought. The world master of the 1,000 worlds could rely on the other laws to help each other, so that the taboo realm of catastrophe would no longer be difficult. Of course, the most important thing is the help of the 3 heavenly talismans. After all, there used to be an incomparably monstrous Jesuin in the 10,000 realms who comprehended 2 or 3 laws at the same time and reached the state of Dzogchen, but still died in the taboo state. The others present, including Xiao Mubai, heard the exchange between Duan Lingtian and Aguli and felt awe-inspiring for a moment. From Lord Duan Lingshan's words, Lord Agili is the deity, and he didn't suffer any injuries. Master Agili is ready to make the rest of the laws go one step further and successfully overcome the tribulation with the powerful avatar of the laws. In comparison, Lei Hong and Fang Yifan are taking risks in crossing the catastrophe. Lei Hong narrowly escaped death and succeeded, but Fang Yifan died. I think that although this lord has said it lightly, the actual situation is definitely not the case. The rest of the law power he has mastered may have already reached the threshold of breakthrough. Otherwise, how could he have prepared it in such a short period of time and succeeded in crossing the tribulation? There was a chatter among the crowd. However, they could be considered to have obtained the answers they wanted on this trip, and after recovering, many of them left. Those who left, in addition to greeting Agili respectfully, also took the initiative to greet Duan Lingshan's law clone. "Brother Duan Lingtian, since you're here, why don't you come in and have a drink with me?" Agili asked with a smile. "Good." Duan Lingtian responded, agreed, and at the same time, the law clone stepped out and arrived at Agili's side. "Don't forget to say to Xiao Mubai through sound transmission, 'Master Xiao, you go back. My deity will secretly you away.'" If Lei Hong himself dared to make a move on Xiao Mubai's way back, then he would let Lei Hong come and go. Xiao Mubai also left with the others, leaving Duan Lingshan's time law clone alone, and followed Agili into the Ada Gang tribe. The Ada Gang tribe, as the world venerable force in the Grand Mist realm, looks ordinary on the outside, but when entering the inner circle and passing through the fog formation, there is a world like a peach blossom garden that appears in front of Duan Lingtian. Here the birds are singing and the flowers are fragrant, the smoke is faint, and it is a peaceful scene. Duan Lingtian was personally invited by Agili to his training place and chatted with him over wine. In the process, he also gained a detailed understanding of the primordial realm. During the conversation, Agili took the initiative to mention the 9 mysterious entrances shrouded in mist in the 3 major evil places of the god-defying realm. Not long ago, Duan Lingtian learned from Zhang Shenku from the Ascension realm that besides the Bright Light realm, the Ascension realm and the Hongming realm have such places in the upper 3 realms. I have entered one of the mysterious entrances and suffered some injuries. I doubt the existence of the shot. Either it is a strong man who is at the 6th level of the strongest, the kind who has comprehended various worlds and 4 ways to a very high level, or the existence of the 7th level of the strongest. Agili guessed and said, "Later, the words of the Tao of Heaven appeared, saying that you were the first person to survive the taboo realm after the cutoff of history, and that your master was the first existence to step into the 7th level of the strongest. So, I think that the existence that hurt me in that mysterious place and forced me out should be the strongest 6th level powerhouse who has mastered various high-level worlds in 4 ways." Hearing Agili's judgment, Duan Lingtian shook his head. "Brother Agili, your guess is probably wrong. My master also entered that place some time ago." Then, Duan Lingtian told about the fact that Nishan Realm also has 9 misty mysterious places, and also talked about his master Feng Qingyang's feelings of fighting against the gatekeeper inside. The question of strength seems to be in the 8th level of Xian. After hearing Feng Qingyang's judgment from Duan Lingtian, Agili couldn't help but gasp. He didn't expect that things would be completely different from what he guessed. If that's the case, why does Tiandao still say that we are the first few to step into the 7th level existence after the history is cut off? Agili was puzzled, very puzzled. What if the other party existed before the historical partition? Duan Lingtian asked back. As soon as these words came out, Aguila's complexion changed. If this is the case, everything can be explained. Later, Agili also learned about Duan Lingshan's attitude towards the mysterious place from Duan Lingtian. As long as it didn't affect him, he ignored it and didn't bother to investigate. However, during the next chat, Duan Lingtian saw that Agili was eager to try and obviously wanted to explore the mysterious place. Really? After Duan Lingshan's law clone left, Agili left the Ada Gang tribe immediately, entered a mysterious place shrouded in mist with this deity. This time, he took the initiative to fight the opponent. Even if you are mentally prepared, it is still inevitable to follow the trend and have an ending. Forced to retreat. Almost got hurt. So strong. Moreover, when it made a move, it didn't feel the presence of any heaven and earth. What does this mean? It means that the opponent didn't use the 4 ways of heaven and earth at all. Chapter 46:27. Its power is at least at the 8th level of Xion. Looking at the large fog in front of him, Agili gasped. Even if he came out a little later, although he would not be killed, he would definitely be injured. At this moment, he completely confirmed what Duan Lingtian had said to him. It's not that he doesn't believe in Duan Lingtian, but that he has a deep obsession with this mysterious place shrouded in mist. In the past, his master, whom he regarded as his biological father, died in it. He had always wanted to go in and investigate to see if he could know the truth about his master's death. If his master's remains were still there, he would also bury them. Therefore, even if Duan Lingtian told him about the danger, he, who has stepped into the 7th level of Xion, still intends to go in and find out. Unexpectedly, even if he stepped into the 7th level of the strongest and entered this fog-shrouded place, it was still difficult to penetrate. The mysterious beast guarding the door forced him out as soon as he made a move. It must have existed before the historical partition. Otherwise, there would be no record of these 9 mysterious places in the Hongming realm in history. Among the upper 3 realms, apart from the bright light realm, there are places like this in the primordial Ming realm and the feather transformation realm. According to what Duan Lingtian said, there are places like this in the Nishan realm. In other realms, I have heard that some realms have similar places. Taking a deep breath, Agili arrived at another mysterious place shrouded in mist in the Hongming realm. This time he was attacked by a powerful force again. However, he was prepared, but he still retreated unscathed. It's not that strange beast anymore. This is another strange beast. When you make a shot, the breath of strength is different. Of course, Agili doesn't have a tendency to be abused, but just wants to confirm one thing. That is, he wanted to see if the targets he encountered after entering every mysterious place shrouded in mist in the primordial realm were the same existence. In the past, even though he was a top world-respected person, he did not dare to try this easily. Now, he dared to try this when he was sure of getting out of his body. Continue. Then, Agili continued to go to the other 7 mysterious places shrouded in mist in the Hongming realm, but found that after entering the 7 places shrouded in mist, the strange beasts he encountered were not the same one. 9 different beasts. The strength is very strong, and the essence of power is definitely above the Xion 8th level. After confirming this point, Aguila's complexion became solemn, and the sense of superiority he felt after stepping into the 7th level of Xion was also blown away at this moment. It turned out that although he was the 5th existence announced by the Tao of Heaven, he was not the 5th strongest existence under the Tao of Heaven in this world. In this world, there are also strange beasts that have survived before the historical cutoff. However, due to certain rules, they are imprisoned in the mysterious place and cannot cross the border. Otherwise, the world will probably be in chaos. It's also fortunate that they can't come out, otherwise, the world and the land outside the world. I'm afraid they would have been burned and blood flowed into rivers. Agili secretly thought. Not to mention the previous 10,000 realms and outer boundaries, the strongest ones were a group of world venerables and saints. Even now, a total of 5 transcendent world venerables and saints have been born in myriad worlds and outer worlds. In front of those mysterious beasts, they are still not enough to see it all. Heaving a sigh of relief, Agili pondered for a moment, and finally left the primordial realm. Went to God against realm. Agili. Duan Lingtian didn't expect that not long after his time law avatar returned to the god-defying realm, Agili came to him. What? Brother Agili, have you gone to investigate that mysterious place? Duan Lingtian asked with a smile.
Yes.
Agili nodded, and then said in a deep voice, Brother Duan Lingtian, I think what you guessed may be true. At least, the 9 fog-shrouded entrances of the primordial realm should lead to the same mysterious place. I have entered all 9 entrances. After entering, the aura of heaven and earth I sense is the same, but it is completely different from the world and the land outside the world. Having said that, he paused for a moment and continued. I'm here to investigate the 9 fog-shrouded places in your god-defying realm, but I don't know if you, Brother Duan Lingtian, can lead me the way? There was a bit of expectation in Aguilas' eyes, and he wanted to confirm some things next. I have never been to those places. However, I can let someone take you there. Duan Lingtian didn't notice the slightest hostility from Agili, and at the same time saw that he obviously wanted to study those places further, so he immediately found the world lord Xiao Mubai. I've seen Master Agili. Seeing Agili, Xiao Mubai saluted repeatedly. Next, I will trouble World Master Xiao. Agili smiled friendly. Duan Lingtian watched Agili leave. Half a month later, Agili came back with Xiao Mubai. Brother Duan Lingtian. This time, Aguila's face was extraordinarily solemn, and at the same time he told Duan Lingtian about his discovery. I know you are not interested in those places, but I still want to tell you about my latest discovery. I first went to the 9 fog-shrouded places in the Hongming realm, and found that there were indeed 9 entrances. In addition, after entering the 9 entrances, the 9 strange beasts I encountered were not the same one. It means that there are 9 entrances leading to different places. It may be the entrance to a mysterious place with 9 different directions. Of course, this was just my guess at first. Until the past half-month, I investigated the 9 entrances of the god-defying realm. I find, going through the 9 entrances, the 9 strange beasts I encountered that attacked me turned out to be the 9 strange beasts that I encountered when entering the 9 entrances of the primordial realm. Having said that, he paused and then said, if the 9 entrances lead to the same place, it means that there are 9 areas in different directions corresponding to that place, and each is guarded by strange beasts. And if 9 entrances lead to 9 different places, that should be 9 mysterious places, and the 9 fog-shrouded places that exist in the major realms should be the entrances to the 9 mysterious places. Of course, I prefer to have only one mysterious place, rather than 9 places. It's the same as what I told you half a month ago. The aura of heaven and earth aura I sensed inside is almost the same, although Duan Lingtian really has no interest in that mysterious place, but still couldn't help being a little surprised. There are 9 entrances, and the strange beasts encountered after entering are not the same? Wouldn't it be that there are 9 strange beasts that are suspected to be above the 8th level of Xian? After confirming this point from Agili, Duan Lingtian frowned. He looked through the lifelong memory left by the old man Wukong again, but found that he had not touched the mysterious land in his memory. Even, the old man Wukong has never encountered any dangerous fog-shrouded land, and has never appeared. This is a bit strange. Old man Wukong existed before the historical partition, and according to my guess, the mysterious land was also left before the history was cut off, so the powerful beasts in it were not specially announced by the text of Heavenly Tao. But according to the memory of the old man Wukong, that mysterious place did not exist before the history cut off. Thinking of this, Duan Lingtian shook his head and thought to himself, I'm afraid only the Tao of Heaven knows what's going on. However, seeing that Agili left the Nishan realm again and was about to go to the Feather Transformation realm, he had to sigh in his heart for Agilus, hungry for knowledge. I hope this guy's exploration of that mysterious place won't cause any trouble. Shouldn't it be? After all, he was forced out every time, and the strange beast inside can't come out every time. Chapter 46:28. Even after getting a better understanding of the mysterious place from Aguli, Duan Lingtian still had no interest. For him, nothing is more important than improving his own strength. With that time and effort, it is better to further digest the memory left by the old man Wukong, and strive to have the strength comparable to the old man Wukong as soon as possible, and even surpass the old man Wukong. When it really comes to that time, it is not too late to venture into the mysterious land in spare time and boredom. The 5th Xian and the 7th level also appeared. Next, I'm afraid there will be many Xian 7th level existences one after another, Duan Lingtian secretly thought. At the same time, his eyes flashed sharply. I hope they can all be honest. If not, I don't mind killing them. With his current growing and rapid strength, he is really not afraid of the existence of the 7th level Xian. This time, Aguli left for a full 3 months. 3 months later, he appeared in front of Duan Lingtian again. Brother Duan Lingtian, I have been to many realms that are shrouded in mist, including the Ascension realm, and I have entered every entrance. I found that the 9 entrances of all realms lead to the same 9 places. The 9-headed beasts are still guarding the entrance. Speaking of this, his eyes flashed brightly. Though the strength of the 9 alien beasts is not weak, if we join forces with the strongest 7th level beings and cooperate with the joint attack formation, we may not be unable to kill them one by one. Before I came to you, I went to see Brother Ming Han from Bibo Tianfu, a place outside the boundary. He said that as long as you are willing to join the team, he will make a move. Otherwise, the 4 of us will try together. He really wanted to know what kind of world was behind the guarded beast at the entrance of the mysterious place, and whether it would help him in his next practice. If it helps, it is undoubtedly a great thing. Even if it doesn't help, it can satisfy his curiosity and obsession. He was really curious about that mysterious place. Although, now he guesses that the 9 entrances all lead to the same place, but it is only a guess after all. Unless he investigates and confirms himself, he can't confirm that it is really the 9 entrances of the same place. Now, in 10,000 realms, and even in places beyond the realm, including him, a total of 5 strongest 7th level existences have been born. Feng Qingyang, Duan Lingtian, Meng Han, Lei Hong, and Aguli. Meng Han bluntly said that as long as Duan Lingtian agrees to join forces, he will also join. As for Feng Qingyang, he is Duan Lingshan's master. If Duan Lingtian joins, he will definitely not be able to stay out of it. Lei Hong, who had a grudge against Duan Lingtian, had no choice but to give up. Including him, there are 4 people in total. According to his calculations and estimates, it is enough to deal with any of the 9 strange beasts. Brother Aguli, I have no interest in that place for now. Duan Lingtian shook his head and declined Aguli. From Aguli's extremely expectant eyes, it is not difficult for him to see Aguli's curiosity and longing for the mysterious place, but he is really not interested in the mysterious place for the time being. Who knows if there is a more terrifying existence in it? The 9 alien beasts corresponding to the 9 entrances, with his current strength, even if he fights alone, he is not afraid. But what about the back? The gatekeepers are already so strong, so if it is said later that there is no stronger existence, it seems to be unreasonable, right? It is precisely because of this that he has no interest in the mysterious place that the 9 entrances lead to for the time being, and he is only thinking about digesting the memory of old man Wukong first, and it will not be too late to break into it when he has the strength of old man Wukong's peak period before his life. Brother Duan Lingtian. Aguli really wanted to go in and find out, so he continued to persuade Duan Lingtian. What's more, seeing Duan Lingtian refuse again, he gritted his teeth and promised Duan Lingtian a lot of benefits. Although it is not very useful to Duan Lingtian, it is still of great use to Duan Lingshan's family and friends. However, the current Duan Lingtian does not lack these things for the time being. If you really want to lack it, you can exchange it with the forces of the great world venerables and saints by bartering. In the end, after confirming that Duan Lingtian had made up his mind, It was impossible to go to that mysterious place with him, so Agili could only say goodbye and leave, and after leaving the god-defying realm, his face became completely gloomy. That Duan Lingtian really didn't give me face. As the existence of the 7th level Xian, I was so humbled, and he still rejected me. Snored. Although he was not very happy, Agili did not intend to make Duan Lingtian an enemy. This time, he went to Meng Han because of this matter, and also confirmed Meng Han's position from Meng Han's mouth, because Duan Lingtian helped him enter the Tongtian Tower first, and got great benefits. He said that he stood by Duan Lingtian unconditionally, and even as long as Duan Lingtian needed it, he was more willing to join forces with Duan Lingtian to deal with Lei Hong. That is to say, among the existence of the 7th level of the world's 5 most powerful, 2 of them are on Duan Lingshan's side. Not to mention that he is alone. Even if he joins forces with Lei Hong, it will be difficult for him to compete against Duan Lingtian and the others. It seems that we can only wait. Wait until a few more Xian 7th level existences are born, and then join hands with them to explore the mysterious place behind the 9 mysterious entrances. There may be a huge opportunity waiting for us inside. If there is a chance, I may not be able to catch up with the latecomers and surpass Duan Lingtian and the others. Thinking of this, Agili felt urgent again. Of course, despite the urgency, he didn't lose his mind. He thought that if he really wanted to join forces with others in the future, after dealing with the strange beasts at the entrance, and when he encountered a more powerful and irresistible existence, he still had to focus on saving his life. Opportunities are good, but the price of life is higher. In the reverse god realm, Duan Lingtian continued to digest the memories left by the old man Wukong, and his strength was also improving step by step. There was no bottleneck obstacle along the way, or before he had the strength of the peak period of the old man Wukong, he was unlikely to encounter bottlenecks that were difficult to overcome. During this period, family members and friends also came to him for help. He always let the law of time come out, and the deity continued to improve his strength without distraction. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, another 100 years passed. On this day, the myriad worlds and the land outside the world trembled, just because the vision that everyone was familiar with appeared again in the sky, and then 2 lines of words of the way of heaven appeared one after another, appearing in front of everyone's eyes. Another person successfully survived the taboo realm of catastrophe. This person, after successfully crossing the catastrophe, immediately stepped into the strong 7th rank, becoming the 6th strongest 7th rank strongman after the history cut off. Chapter 46-29. Congratulations to Xue Qingzhu from the outside world, with the 6th level cultivation base of the strongest, successfully passed the taboo realm, and is expected to become the 6th strongest and 7th level strongman after the history cutoff, surpassing the respected world and saints. Congratulations to Xue Qingzhu. The land outside the realm, after surviving the taboo realm, he successfully broke through and became the 6th, strongest, and 7th level existence after the historical barrier, surpassing Jesuan and saints. After 100 years, after Agili in the Hongming realm successfully crossed the catastrophe and broke through, there was another existence of the 6th level of the strongest, who successfully crossed the catastrophe, broke the shackles, and stepped into the 7th level of the strongest. Moreover, he is still a strong man in the outside world. This is also the 2nd existence in the outer worlds to be promoted to the 7th level of the strongest. The land outside the world is boiling. Haha. In the land outside our boundaries, there is finally a 2nd existence who stepped into the 7th level of Xian. Yes, there were 5 Xians of the 7th level in the past. 4 of them were experts from the myriad realms, and only 1 was from a place outside our realm. In recent years, when those cultivators from the myriad realms talked to us about this, their nostrils were upturned, as if they were the ones who stepped into the 7th level of the Xian. Our land outside the realm has a profound foundation, and sooner or later, we will be able to surpass the 10,000 realms in terms of the number of the strongest 7th level powerhouses. Xue Qingzhu, it seems to be the 7th city lord of the 13th city of the Western Jin dynasty in the Holy Wind realm? It's her. The lord of the 7th city of the 13th city in the Western Jin dynasty has disappeared in recent years, and I almost forgot her existence. This is a monster among the rising stars. Yes, she used to be the youngest saint power recognized by our outside world. The 13th city of the Western Jian dynasty is the saint force of the Wind Sacred Realm, and it is a force with 3 saints. Many forces outside the world also exist like a ceiling. As the name suggests, the 13 cities of the Western Jian dynasty is a power that unites the 13 cities. Of course, the 13 cities are not close together, they are extremely far apart, and they are distributed throughout the customs clearance area of the 13 cities in the Western Jian dynasty, and each city has a powerful city lord. This force was originally an alliance force. However, later, under the leadership of several city lords, the 13 city lords became brothers and sisters. In the past, in the 13th city of the Western Jian dynasty, the Great City Lord, the Second City Lord, and the 7th City Lord were all saints and strong men, and the 7th City Lord was a rising star, inheriting the position of the City Lord from her master. Even so, after she inherited the position of City Lord, her seniority also increased. In the past, when she was not the City Lord, she had to call other City Lords uncles and aunts, but now she just called them brothers and sisters, because the ranking of the City Lords was determined by the City Lords when they were sworn brothers, and it had been discussed and decided long ago and would not be changed. Haha, congratulations, 7th sister. A hearty laugh came from afar outside the Yuzhou city, and at the same time a figure appeared in the sky above the Yuzhou city's City Lord's mansion in an instant. Yuzhou City is a huge city with a vast area. The City Lord's mansion is located in the east of the city, surrounded by mountains and rivers, and connected to the mountains and rivers. Looking down from the sky, the City Lord's mansion seems to be integrated with the mountains and rivers, regardless of you and me. At this moment, when I heard hearty laughter from the sky, and then saw that burly figure in the sky, it was a tall, thick-backed, bearded, thick-browed, big-eyed, middle-aged man. Several figures flew out of the City Lord's mansion one after another, and greeted him. I've seen the great City Lord. I've seen the great City Lord. A few people who rose from the Yuzhou City Lord's mansion in the sky respectfully saluted the visitors. Why are you? Where are your City Lords? The middle-aged Chiron looked puzzled when he saw the people in front of him. Could it be that the 7th sister hasn't come back yet? It should be. If 7th sister is here, seeing him coming, it is impossible not to come out. Could it be that the injury he suffered after crossing the catastrophe has not healed, so he hasn't come back yet? Thinking of this, a look of worry flashed in his eyes. Great City Lord, our City Lord has just sent a message, saying that she has something to go to 10,000 realms and will come back later. An old woman among several people responded respectfully. These people are all semi-sacred powerhouses of Yuzhou City, and they are also the most powerful assistants under the command of Xue Qingzhu, the Lord of Yuzhou City. They usually take care of the affairs of Yuzhou City when Xue Qingzhu is practicing in closed doors. Go to 10,000 realms? The bearded middle-aged man frowned slightly, unable to figure out what that 7th sister was going to 10,000 realms for. Could it be that she had just broken through? Her hands were itchy, and she wanted to go to 10,000 realms to find someone to learn from? As for the target, it is not difficult for him to guess. There is a high probability that they are the 2 sword masters who first stepped into the 7th level of the strongest in the Nishan realm. His 7th sister is a sword cultivator herself, and is also recognized as the #1 sword cultivator in the 13 cities of the Western Jian dynasty. There are 4 ways of heaven and earth, and he also cultivates the way of swordsmanship. While the bearded middle-aged man frowned, another pleasant laughter like a silver bell came from a distance. 7th sister, congratulations. I never thought that you stepped into that realm before me and elder brother. It seems that even if I join forces with elder brother, we may not be your opponent. This silver bell-like laughter sounded like a child's voice at first glance, and when the person who came appeared above Yuzhou City, it was a girl who looked about 13 or 14 years old, with 2 braids on her head and pretty cheeks carved in jade. I felt pity for it. Brother, you actually came faster than me. After the girl came over, she immediately saw the middle-aged man with beard and greeted him with a smile. Meet the 2nd City Lord. Meet the 2nd City Lord. After seeing this girl, Several semi-sages in Yuzhou City couldn't help showing a bit of jealousy in their eyes, and then saluted respectfully. It was as if, in their eyes, the second city lord was more terrifying than the first city lord. Second sister. The middle-aged man smiled and nodded to the young girl. This time, you and I are doomed to fail. Seventh sister. She has gone to 10,000 realms. Go to myriad realms? The girl was puzzled. What did seventh sister go to Wanjia? Immediately afterwards, after hearing his guess from the middle-aged man, the girl's eyes lit up. Seventh sister went to the god-defying realm? Is that the god-defying realm of the 7th level double Xeon? Second sister, don't you want to go too? The middle-aged man asked himself that he knew this second younger sister quite well, and it was not difficult to see what she was thinking. His second sister looks like a little girl, but in fact she is not young. At least it is enough to be the ancestor of the 7th sister. It's just that people are not old at heart, and they always show people in the form of a girl. Of course, he only dared to think about these things in his heart, because the last thing he, the second sister, wanted to hear was that someone said she was old. In her heart, she had always been only about 10 years old, and she had never changed from beginning to end. Against God Realm, Duan Lingtian was stunned for a moment after receiving the message from Worldmaster Xiao Mubai. That out-of-bounds powerhouse Xue Qingzhu, who has just stepped into the 7th level of the strongest, wants to ask me to learn swordsmanship with Master? He didn't expect that not long after he saw the text of Tiandao, the other party came to his door. Moreover, the other party is also a sword cultivator? Lord, am not interested in competing with her. You can ask my master. Duan Lingtian replied. If he is just an ordinary 7th level powerhouse, he would be more than happy to have a visit from a powerhouse from the same realm to compete with him, because this is also an opportunity for him to learn and improve. But the problem is, now, in his eyes, competing with the other party is bullying the other party. Even in the way of swordsmanship, he has already successfully entered the 8th level after further digesting the memory of the old man Wukong. Chapter 46:30. Duan Lingtian felt that his master would most likely not decline the other party's challenge. And then, as the World Lord Xiao Mubai sent another message, what he said also confirmed what Duan Lingtian thought. His master Feng Qingyang agreed to the challenge of Xue Qingzhu, a newly promoted 7th level strongman from outside the world. In this regard, he is not surprised. If the other party is good at other 4 ways of heaven and earth, his master may not answer. But the problem is, the opponent is good at swordsmanship. Being able to take a crucial step with the way of the sword shows that the opponent is also a wizard of swordsmanship. With such an existence, his master will also meet Lai Xinqi when he sees it, not to mention that the opponent is now actively looking for him. Master Duan Lingtian, now I'm taking this girl to Jili Tian to meet Master Feng Qingyang. She said that after the sparring with Master Feng Qingyang, she still wants to have a sparring with you. Xiao Mubai said again. If she can beat my master in 1 move and a half, I don't mind competing with her. If she is not as good as my master, let her stop humiliating herself. Duan Lingtian said lightly. Bring shame on yourself? If others, including Xue Qingzhu himself, heard Duan Lingtian's words, they would definitely think Duan Lingtian was arrogant. After all, they are all existences of the 7th level of Xeon, and you actually said that the other party challenged you to humiliate yourself? However, Xiao Mubai understood Duan Lingtian's deepness, knowing that Duan Lingtian not only stepped into the 7th level of the strongest with the way of swordsmanship, but also had extremely high attainments in the way of control and the way of infinity. Even if it doesn't reach the 7th level, it's probably close. And the 4 ways of heaven and earth can be displayed at the same time, unlike laws that are limited and can only draw the power of 1 law at the same time. Okay, I'll tell her. Now the person communicating with Duan Lingtian is not Xiao Mubai's real deity, but Xiao Mubai's avatar of law that is resident in the land of the gods, so that he can get in touch with Duan Lingtian at any time. Because he knows very well that Duan Lingtian is the guardian god with the thickest thighs in the current Nishan realm. On Duan Lingtian's side, he originally thought that this matter would be over, but did not expect. A month later, his master Feng Qingyang came. Master! What Duan Lingtian didn't expect was that it wasn't just his master who came here, but also another young woman wearing a light green dress. The woman held a sheathed long sword in her hand. She had an extraordinary temperament and a peerless appearance. She stood there like an orchid in an empty valley, attracting everyone's attention. No need to think too much. Duan Lingtian guessed the identity of this person. It should be the new Xi'an 7th-level powerhouse from outside the world, Xue Qingzhu. He originally thought that the other party must have left after he fell into a disadvantage in the competition with his master, but he didn't expect that he hadn't left yet. Not only did he not leave, he even came to look for him with his master. Before that, he hadn't received any notice from the world lord Xiao Mubai, which meant that Xiao Mubai didn't know about it either. Xiao Tian. Feng Qingyang responded. The embarrassment on his face flashed away, and then he introduced the woman beside him. This is Xue Qingzhu, the city lord of Yuzhou City, the 13th city of the Western Jin dynasty outside the boundary. At this moment, Duan Lingtian could see the restraint of his master. What's the situation? Ever since he met his master for the first time, until now, this is really the first time he has seen his master have such a side. It looks reserved, but in fact it seems more like shy. After all, he is the father of 2 children and the man of 4 women. Duan Lingtian quickly came to his senses, and his eyes swept back and forth between the 2 in front of him. It seems that there is really a situation. Moreover, seeing Xue Qingzhu's indifferent face at this time, it is not difficult to see that it should be only his master who is unrequitedly in love for the time being. This one may become the future teacher's wife. Thinking of this, Duan Lingtian didn't dare to take it too seriously, and looked at Xue Qingzhu with a smile on his face, and took the initiative to say hello. I have seen City Lord Xue. Although I saw the public announcement of the Tao of Heaven, I knew that City Lord Xue had stepped into the 7th level of Xi'an, but I didn't expect that City Lord Xue was actually a daughter. It's really surprising and admirable. Facing Duan Lingshan's compliment, Xue Qingzhu shook his head and chuckled. Fellow Taoist Duan has won the prize. Compared with you, I am nothing. 2 days ago, I learned about your real age from fellow Taoist Feng. At your age, I never even stepped into Xi'an. Xue Qingzhu is considered a very young and strong person in the outside world, about the same age as Feng Qingyang. And this alone makes her famous in the circle of saints in the outside world to the point where everyone in the world does not know the king. Therefore, when she learned about Duan Lingshan's real age from Feng Qingyang, she was really taken aback. Before he came to the Nishan realm this time, he thought that Feng Qingyang and Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm were far older than him, but he didn't expect that one of them was as old as him, and the other was more than 10,000 years younger than her. It's all thanks to my master leading the way. Duan Lingtian smiled modestly, then looked at Feng Qingyang, blinked his eyes, and secretly said, Master, if you like someone, just go for it. I have never seen you so coy. Feng Qingyang didn't expect Duan Lingtian to see through her thoughts, and she couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. Chuanin laughed and scolded. You kid, what are you talking about? Why do I like him? Don't talk nonsense. Hearing this, Duan Lingtian continued to transmit voice. Master, you really don't like it? If you really don't like it, we'll go for it. This guy feels pretty good in all aspects, and his strength is also strong. It's not bad to marry back home as a wife. It can also improve the overall strength of the Nishan realm, by the way. After Duan Lingtian said it, he could see murderous look in his master's eyes. Haha, just kidding. Repeatedly explained. This also made him further sure that his master really moved Fan Xin. Fellow Taoist is really powerful. When I competed with him, I fell into a disadvantage from the very beginning. If he hadn't been merciful, I might have lost. Xue Qingzhu looked at Feng Qingyang, with a pair of beautiful autumn eyes showing admiration. Duan Lingtian smiled and said, Speaking of which, City Lord Xue, you and my master are quite destined. Hearing this, Xue Qingzhu couldn't help being a little more curious when he looked at Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian continued, As we all know, my master is the first existence of the 7th level Xi'an born after the history is cut off, and he is also the first male monk to step into the 7th level Xi'an. And you, City Lord Xue, are the first female monk to step into the 7th level of the strongest after the history is cut off. Isn't this predestined relationship? If City Lord Xue, you don't have a fellow Taoist, I want to draw a red line for you and my master. My master has not married yet, and I have never had a confidant in the past. Duan Lingtian got straight to the point, ready to strike while the iron is hot, and strive to take down master mistress. Oh no, to help his master take down his wife. Chapter 46:31. 46:31. It's worthwhile to accept him as a disciple when Xueqing Zhu, a woman and top genius in the outer boundary, became a saint at a young age. She shocked everyone. At that time, she was the youngest saint in the history of the outer boundary. Previously, those who held the record were all men. Not only did she break their records, but she was also the first woman to do so. For these reasons, she was famous in the outer boundary. Behind these achievements were Xueqing Zhu's blood, sweat, and tears. All her time was spent cultivating and learning from others to grow stronger. Day after day, year after year, her routine remained the same. In the end, her hard work paid off, and she became the youngest saint in the history of the outer boundary. Many female cultivators in the outer boundary regarded Xueqing Zhu as their idol. Among them, many of them were from the myriad world before moving to the outer boundary, like Huangfu Mingyuan, Duanling Tian's eldest senior sister from the Myriad Laws Academy's Inner Palace faction. Previously, when Duanling Tian chatted with Huangfu Mingyuan, he had heard mentioning Xueqing Zhu as well, and she even said that she wanted to be like Xueqing Zhu. At that time, Huangfu Mingyuan deliberately hid the fact that Xueqing Zhu was a woman from Duanling Tian, so he assumed he was a male cultivator. He thought his senior sister idolized the other party simply because the other party was extraordinarily talented. It was only later on that he realized Xueqing Zhu was a woman. Xueqing Zhu was completely focused on cultivation, so she did not have time for other matters such as marriage. As she grew stronger, quite a few people mentioned the matter of marriage to her, but she did not take them seriously. Moreover, it was difficult for her to find a man about her age who was as strong as her, let alone find one that was stronger than her. She naturally had no interest in men who were inferior to her. For this reason, she was single until now. In fact, her life was rather similar to that of Feng Qingyang. He also devoted himself to the sword Dao and to growing stronger. For that reason, he had been single. It was also due to his inexperience that he did not know how to express his feelings to Xueqing Zhu. Xueqing Zhu was also inexperienced in this regard. Even if it was obvious that Feng Qingyang liked her, she did not notice it. She only thought that Feng Qingyang treated her as a friend until Duanling Tian asked if she was single and recommended Feng Qingyang. After that, she recalled how friendly Feng Qingyang had been, and she could not help but blush. At the same time, Feng Qingyang was embarrassed. He did not expect Duanling Tian to be so straightforward. He could not help but glare at Duanling Tian before he explained, "Miss Xue, he was just joking with you." Xueqing Zhu nodded and took a deep breath to calm down before she looked at Duanling Tian and said seriously, "Mr. Duan, I came here with Mr. Feng to spar with you. I heard Mr. Feng said that you're stronger than him. I really want to see it for myself." Duanling Tian smiled and said, "I don't mind sparring with you. However, am not very motivated since there's no prize or benefit to it." Little Tian. Feng Qingyang frowned. He did not expect Duanling Tian to make things difficult for Xueqing Zhu. After all, Duanling Tian knew he liked Xueqing Zhu. Why would he treat his master's future wife like that? Xueqing Zhu frowned slightly, but she still asked, "Then what kind of prize do you want?" Duanling Tian pretended to ponder a moment. He did not answer the question. Instead, he calmly said, "How about this? Since your strongest Dao is the sword Dao, well, spar using the sword Dao. Well, attack with all our might, and if you can stop 3 of my attacks, you win. Otherwise, you lose." Feng Qingyang raised his eyebrows slightly upon hearing this. At the same time, a hint of anger could be seen on Xueqing Zhu's face. After all, she was also a level 7 supreme powerhouse like Duanling Tian. She felt like he was looking down on her when he proposed determining the outcome of the match with only 3 strikes. "All right," Xueqing Zhu replied. Her voice was much colder than before. She really wanted to see how strong he was. In her opinion, even if according to Feng Qingyang, she was no match for Duanling Tian, the gap between their strength could not be that big. It was absolutely impossible for him to defeat her with 3 strikes. After a moment, she asked again, "What prize do you want?" And if I win, what will I gain? Duanling Tian smiled and said, if you win, I'll owe you a favor. I'll do anything you ask as long as it doesn't violate my principles, and it's within my capability. Xue Qingzhu's eyes lit up upon hearing this. This was indeed a valuable prize. Duanling Tian continued to say, if you lose, you have to stay in the God-defying world for 1,000 years. To be precise, you have to stay in my master's heavenly emperor's palace in the solitary destructive heaven as a guest. Apart from that, you can't be in closed-door cultivation for more than 300 years during this time. Of course, during this time, you can return to the outer boundary if there's something urgent you have to attend to. However, you can't leave for more than a year at a time. In total, your time away can't exceed 10 years. Upon hearing this, Xue Qingzhu looked at Feng Qingyang, wondering if it was the latter's idea. Meanwhile, Feng Qingyang finally realized Duanling Tian's intention. He felt that it was really worthwhile accepting Duanling Tian as his disciple. However, when he saw the expression on Xue Qingzhu's face, he looked at her innocently and shook his head. What do you think? Duanling Tian asked. Striking the iron while it was hot, he continued to goad her. Miss Xue, don't tell me you're not confident about stopping 3 strikes from me? Who knew if Xue Qingzhu did not mind staying in the solitary destructive heaven, or if Duanling Tian's provocative words were effective? In the end, she nodded and said, all right, I agree. Chapter 46-32. Hearing Xue Qingzhu's agreement, Duanlingshan's eyes flashed a light, and then nodded. Since you agreed, fellow Taoist Xue, let's find a shattered small world to discuss. I will use 3 swords to determine the outcome. Then, Duanling Tian and the others directly tore apart the space, left the Nishan realm, and randomly found a small realm that had long been destroyed in the 10,000 realms, and the power of the realm had already been drained away, and there were no more living creatures. This kind of small boundary area is barren in the eyes, like locusts passing through. Now, the place where Duanling Tian and the others stand in the air is just above the ruins of a city in this small world. There are countless ruins in the ruins. Judging from the architectural style, it is completely different from any architectural style he knows. It looks different. There is style. It's a pity that it has been destroyed in the long river of history and cannot see the glory of the past. What's more, at this time, the surrounding area where the 3 of Ling Tian stood in the air sometimes had strange turmoil in the space, and space cracks appeared on their own, and then slowly closed, appearing elsewhere, repeating itself again and again, which shows the weakness of the space barrier in this small world. Vulnerable. And this, in fact, is also the reason for losing the power of the boundary. The power of a realm is related to the rise and fall of a realm. Losing the power of a realm also means losing vitality, losing all aura in the realm, and the strength of any realm will fade with the passage of time, gradually decrease, or even disappear completely. In this case, the strong realm destroys the weak realm and seizes the power of its realm for its own use. Today's myriad realms, the upper 3 realms, and the middle 18 realms are mostly ancient realms. Under normal circumstances, the power of their realms should have disappeared in the long river of history and even destroyed the realm. It is precisely because the powerful people in these realms are like clouds, invading the small realms everywhere, and seizing the power of the small realms to supplement themselves, they can survive for a long time. The same is true for the anti-God realm. Otherwise, the God against God realm would have disappeared in the long river of history long ago. Among the cultivators, the weak will eat the strong, and the fittest will survive. The same is true between boundaries. However, it is still the practitioners of the major realms that dominate the rise and fall of the realms. Use your sword. Xue Qingzhu opened his mouth slowly, and the ethereal and cold figure stood with his sword. His body was as straight as a sword, and bursts of fierce aura emanated from his body, as if his whole body had turned into a sword in a defensive posture at this moment, standing proudly in the sky between. At this time, Feng Qingyang had already stood in the distance to watch the battle. At the same time, the spiritual consciousness is spread out, be vigilant in all directions, and prevent someone from approaching or even sneak attacking. Of course, the main thing is to guard against Lei Hong. Once a big war breaks out in the small world, It will definitely attract the most powerful people from all the powerful worlds. Lei Hong, as the existence of the 7th level of the strongest, will also be alarmed, and may even observe closely. If it is confirmed that the opponent is his disciple Duan Lingtian, and Lei Hong might show up. At that time, all he has to do is to contain Lei Hong in the first place and prevent Lei Hong from escaping. As long as his disciple regained his composure, it would not be difficult to keep Lei Hong. As for the bet between his disciple and the woman he likes this time, he naturally knows that there is no suspense. If his disciple really wants to be serious, even just a sword is enough to defeat the other party. After all, this disciple of mine has not only stepped into the 7th level of swordsmanship, but also has extremely high attainments in the way of infinity and control. According to his estimation, they are all at least at the 6th level. These two are integrated into the way of swordsmanship, looking at the myriad worlds, and even the places outside the world. Who can be the enemy? This disciple of his really wants to strike with all his strength. Even if it is him, he doesn't think he can block his sword. Good. Facing Xue Qingzhu, who was ready and her pretty face was full of dignity, Duan Lingtian said indifferently. His face was as calm as before, and he even yawned, then raised his hand unhurriedly and struck out with a finger sword. Call out. In an instant, a terrifying sword light that seemed inconspicuous at first, but turned into a huge sword in the sky in an instant, directly splitting the sky in this small world into two, screamed and fell towards Xue Qingzhu's place. The space there is cracked, turbulent currents abound, and even vague illusions appear, as if turning all living beings upside down. These phantoms come from Duan Lingshan's space law, refracting some scenes in the surrounding realms in the form of spatial mirror reflection. Of course, this was not intentional by Duan Lingtian. Instead, the law of space activates itself. In the face of Duan Lingshan's menacing sword, Xue Qingzhu also moved, and the same sword was slashed out. The momentum was rolling. The sword glow swept up like a hurricane, but she stood in the heart of the storm. But she remained motionless. Even her body, there has never been any turmoil in the clothes. The extremely bright sword light appeared in this small world, as if overwhelming the world, unrivaled, invincible, mighty and fierce, facing Duan Lingshan's first sword. Soon, the two sword glows collided together. In the next moment, after a short period of tranquility, terrifying power erupted from it, sweeping in all directions, completely annihilating the small world that was originally fragmented and shaky. The small realm trembled and collapsed, and the remaining realms barely blocked the aftermath of the power from the eruption, but the remaining power of the realms was also lost a lot. Second sword. Duan Lingtian opened his mouth again, and continued to slash out with the second sword, which was slightly stronger than the first sword. Of course, it's only slightly stronger. This sword, just like before, was stopped by Xue Qingzhu. At this moment, Xue Qingzhu was slightly disappointed. I feel like I was fooled by fellow Taoist Feng. Didn't it mean that Duan Lingtian, his disciple, is stronger than him? It's also because Feng Qingyang doesn't know what Xue Qingzhu thinks in his heart. If he knows, he will be extremely wronged. This kid, until now, has not used the way of control and the way of infinity. He knew that Duan Lingtian was holding back and was preparing for the third sword to make a real move, defeating the woman he admired with one sword, so that the other party had to fulfill the bet promised earlier. Everyone, I am Feng Qingyang from the God-defying realm. This is my disciple Duan Lingtian and fellow Taoist Xue Qingzhu from outside the realm. In order to avoid misunderstanding, please step back. When Duan Lingtian made the second sword, many powerful people from Wanjie came from a distance because of curiosity, but before they got close, they were warned by Feng Qingyang, and then they noticed Feng Qingyang's domineering spiritual consciousness envelop their heads, and they retreated one after another while their faces were solemn. No wonder there is such a big commotion. It turns out that Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm and Xue Qingzhu, the newly promoted 7th level powerhouse from the outer realm, are exchanging ideas. Two great existences of the 7th level of the strongest are fighting, and there is an existence of the 7th level of the strongest standing aside. This scene is really scary. It's a pity that Mr. Feng Qingyang obviously doesn't intend to let us watch. Otherwise, If we can watch this match with our own eyes, it may be helpful to our cultivation. I heard that the newly promoted 7th level powerhouse from the outside world is also a sword cultivator like Lord Feng Qingyang and Lord Duan Lingtian. And when everyone receded in amazement, Lei Hong, who had just sneaked out of the bright light realm and was hiding in the dark, also received the news. His eyes suddenly lit up. Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang have left God against God realm? Chapter 46-33. This is a good opportunity to enter the God-defying realm. That brother Duan Lingtian. The people who care about are all on the gods' plane of the gods against the gods, the land of the gods, and they are mainly concentrated in the Xia family, the land of the gods. Lei Hong's eyes were bright, and he felt that he had found a good opportunity for revenge, and he couldn't easily miss it. After all, now not only Duan Lingtian, but also Feng Qingyang has left the God-defying realm. Although Feng Qingyang may not be the deity who left, Duan Lingtian must be the one who competed with Xue Qingzhu, a newly promoted 7th level powerhouse in the outside world and outside the world. The deity is undoubtedly. If it weren't for the deity, there would be no need to compete with the other party. The place left by the gods, the Xia family. Taking a deep breath, Lei Hong became more and more excited, and at the same time calmed down a little after being excited for a while. Duan Lingtian, the deity is outside, and the clone of the law of time must be staying in the God-defying realm, and it is likely to stay in the Xia family, the land left by the gods. His time law clone is too strong. Even if I recondense the strongest law clone, it is not the opponent of his law clone, and there is no way to do anything to the people of the Xia family. Last time, in the Hongming realm, his strongest law avatar was defeated by Duan Lingshan's time law avatar, which allowed him to see how powerful the law avatars of the 4 supreme laws are, so that he has been mainly studying the 4 supreme laws recently. I want to improve the law of death that I am good at. If his law of death can step into the realm of small perfection and condense the clone of the law, he will not be afraid of Duan Lingshan's clone of the law of time, because Duan Lingshan's law of time is also at the level of small perfection. We must hurry up. Let's just go for a trip. Taking a deep breath, Lei Hong made up his mind. With a look of madness flashing in his eyes, Duan Lingtian, you dare to attack the sect behind me, and even kill the Jesuan in my sect. This is completely disrespecting me. Hong put it in his eyes, and rubbed my Lei Hong's face on the ground. In fact, he didn't have much affection for the sect behind him. Even if the deceased Jesuan died, he didn't feel much. He is a selfish person with weak emotions. How could he be in the life and death of others? What he cares most about is his face. When Duan Lingtian shot at the sect behind him, he was hitting him in the face. Ever since Duan Lingtian took the shot, there have been rumors everywhere in the bright light realm that Duan Lingtian doesn't take Lei Hong seriously, even saying that even though Lei Hong and Duan Lingtian are the same as the 7th level powerhouse, he has no courage to find Duan Lingtian for revenge in the back. When he heard such words, he was so angry that he killed all those gossiping people. He, Lei Hong, would be afraid of Duan Lingtian? What a joke. If it weren't for Duan Lingshan's good relationship with Meng Han from the outer boundary, if it wasn't for Duan Lingshan's master named Feng Qingyang, if it weren't for Meng Han and Feng Qingyang being both Xian's 7th level existences, Lei Hong would never have taken revenge on Duan Lingtian. Tear. Lei Hong made a decisive decision, directly tore apart the space, and prepared to sneak into the Nishan realm, kill the Xia family, the land left by the gods, and destroy the Xia family that Duan Lingtian cared about, which made Duan Lingtian feel distressed and even regretted the past. Face. And at the same time as Lei Hong left, Duan Lingtian also made the 3rd sword in the sparring with Xue Qingzhu. Before cutting out this sword, he intentionally reminded Xue Qingzhu, fellow Taoist Xue, with the 2 swords just now, I was just testing your methods casually. This 3rd sword is my real strength. You have to deal with it with all your heart. Don't wait to lose the bet. Blame yourself for not being careful. Duan Lingtian reminded Xue Qingzhu in advance that the future teacher in front of him was not convinced. Good. Xue Qingzhu immediately became vigilant when she heard the words. Just now, because of the casual mentality that she could easily deal with the previous 2 swords, she also completely restrained herself. Her intuition told her that it was unlikely that fellow Taoist Feng would lie to her, and that fellow Taoist Duan should really be a big deal. Call out. When Duan Lingshan's third sword was slashed out, the wind and cloud shook in an instant, and all the turbulence in the surrounding space was shattered, as if half of it had been turned into nothingness. Terrible power swept in all directions, as if shaking the 9 heavens and 10 earths with an overwhelming momentum. And in the next moment, it was this earth-shattering attacking gesture, which instantly restrained its sharpness and condensed itself. The sword light that flew out seemed to have become a low profile in a blink of an eye. This sword, Duan Lingtian didn't keep it anymore, and showed the 8th level of swordsmanship. The previous 2 swords only stimulated the 7th level kendo. As for the way of control and the way of infinity, he didn't intend to use it, thinking that it would be too bullying, and now he doesn't have the need to rely on those 2 methods. Using stronger swordsmanship can make this future master who is also a swordsman convinced. The 8th stage, Xue Qingzu's expression changed. She originally thought that even though Duan Lingtian had hidden a lot of strength, his swordsmanship was at most close to the 8th level of swordsmanship, but she didn't expect that Duan Lingshan's third sword cut turned out to be the 8th level of swordsmanship that was completely above the 7th level. Even if it's the breeze on the side, it still looks dull at this moment. He originally thought that his disciple was going to rely on a method in the way of infinity or the way of control to suppress his favorite woman. But it never occurred to him that his disciple stepped into the 8th level, one step ahead of him. In the past, he said to the outside world that his disciple was better than Blue, and he was talking about the overall strength of his disciple. If he really wanted to talk about swordsmanship alone, he asked himself that he was still not surpassed by his disciple. Unexpectedly, his disciple walked ahead of him in the way of the sword without making a sound. This made him feel very complicated. This time, his disciple is really better than Blue in all aspects. Call out. Although Xue Qingzhu confirmed that Duan Lingtian had mastered the 8th level kendo, she was not intimidated. She still tried her best to deal with it. She also wanted to see the difference between the 8th level kendo and her 7th level kendo. The difference. Moreover, when Duan Lingtian slashed out with this sword, she also discovered and understood something from this sword, as if there was something worth learning from. Duan Lingshan's sword is driven by the law of space, cutting through the void. It is the sword of space. And Xue Qingzhu is good at the law of life. A sword rises into the sky, and the halo flows as if life is sublimating. The next moment, the sword glows of the 2 collided together. Different from the previous 2 times when they were evenly matched, this time after half of Duan Lingshan's sword light was annihilated, he forcibly wiped out Xue Qingzhu's sword, and the remaining sword light was cut out unabated. Duan Lingtian saw the doubtful look on Xue Qingzhu's pretty face. His eyes suddenly calmed down, as if he lost his mind for a moment, and his face changed suddenly. Just when he was about to make a move, he saw that his master, Feng Qingyang, had already made a move. Call out. The sword light of time cut through the void, making time and space seem to be frozen, no longer moving forward, and the sword light of Duan Lingtian was also affected. This sword, and the rest of Duan Lingshan's sword, died together, but the aftermath of power still swept towards Xue Qingzhu. Feng Qingyang set out to protect Xue Qingzhu. This is epiphany. After the aftermath of the power dissipated, Feng Qingyang turned to look at Xue Qingzhu, only to find that Xue Qingzhu had entered a mysterious state, and after confirming that she had an epiphany, she immediately looked helpless. This girl, is she too worried about him and his disciples? This is putting their lives in the hands of the 2 of them. At this moment, before Duan Lingtian had time to see Xue Qingzhu's situation, his pupil shrank suddenly. Region? The land left by God in Nishan realm is a part of the small world in his body, and he discovered it as soon as Lei Hong himself arrived. Chapter 46-34. If it was in another place, even if he found Lei Hong at the first time, Duan Lingtian would not dare to confirm whether the other party was the deity or the avatar of the law, and he would need to check with his spiritual sense or confirm after the fight. After all, the avatar of the law of the 7th level existence of Xion has reached the point where it can be compared with the deity only by looking at the outside. However, The land left by God in the Nishan realm is a part of the small world in Duan Lingshan's body, and still belongs to his small world in his body. So when Lei Hong entered his small world in his body, he not only discovered it immediately, but even it is confirmed that Lei Hong is the deity. Call. Before he even had time to say hello to his master, Duan Lingtian disappeared in a flash, as if he had disappeared out of thin air. Because of the current situation of my master, I can't leave for the time being, and I need to protect my future teacher Xue Qingzhu. So I didn't pull my master to go with me, and I didn't dare to move Xue Qingzhu rashly, so as not to disturb her epiphany. The higher the level of cultivation, the harder it is to encounter something like epiphany. Once encountered, it can often be greatly improved. Not to mention anything else, just say that this time Xue Qingzhu faced his 8th level Kendo epiphany, and when the epiphany is over, her attainments in Kendo will probably no longer be inferior to his master as before, and it is very likely that she will equal his master, even surpass a little. Lei Hong, since you're here this time, don't leave. Duan Lingtian directly returned to the little senior sister in his body, and after a space leap, he reached the small part of the small world in his body that he assigned to serve as the land of the gods. His eyes were radiant, with killing intent. Lei Hong, in his eyes, is the #1 enemy at the moment. He must be beheaded. Otherwise, there will be no small hidden danger if he stays. Although he is not afraid of the other party, he also wants to kill the other party as soon as possible. In addition, last time, Lei Hong ruined his good deeds and hindered his search for Yun Qingyan. It can be said that he has made a big hatred with him. And when Duan Lingtian noticed that Lei Hong broke into the land of the gods, Lei Hong had already arrived near the Xia family, the land left by the gods, and made a lightning strike, intending to destroy the Xia family. Boom! Lei Hong's attack was earth-shattering. His aura was like a rainbow, and his power, like the approaching doomsday, swept the world and enveloped the Xia family's residence. Inside the Xia family mansion, a large clan guard formation rose, and a translucent mask enveloped all directions. Countless purple electric, snake-like thunders roamed around the translucent mask, exuding a good aura. This is also the defense of the Xia family. Means, who? What a powerful force. This power is suffocating. In the Xia family, all the high-level members of the Xia family, including the head of the family Xia Yu and the third master Xia Jia, were also alarmed by the sudden warning of the clan guard formation, and their faces changed. Not good dash. The only strongest person in the Xia family has been staying in the Xia family recently, and when he sensed the power sweeping and killing from outside, his expression changed instantly. At the same time, rumble. As the power from outside like a mountain torrent sweeping across the world enveloped and fell, the Xia family's seemingly incomparably strong family protection array fell to pieces in an instant, like a chicken and a dog, vulnerable to a single blow, and it also made everyone in the Xia family feel the hearts of the people. Fear. And at this moment, call out. A sword light shot up into the sky, and then divided into thousands of sword lights in midair, roaring and sweeping around, interweaving into a huge sword net, intending to stop the terrifying power falling from the sky like a torrent of heaven and earth. It's Lord Duan Lingtian. Master Duan Lingtian has made a move. The eyes of all the high-level members of the Xia family lit up, as if they saw a savior, thinking that the Xia family must be saved if that one took action. However, only the strongest member of the Xia family, Xia Hechuan, changed his expression again and again, because he has confirmed that the person who came is the existence of the 7th level Xeon, and it seems that he is not a clone of the law, because the power of the opponent's shot is too powerful. Originally, he thought that as long as Duan Lingtian was around, the Xia family would be safe. It wasn't until Duan Lingtian made a move that he realized that Duan Lingtian himself should not be in the Xia family, otherwise it would be impossible to use the Law of Time clone to make a move, and the power displayed by the Law of Time clone is obviously slightly weaker than the opponent. Boom. Rumble. Soon, the palpitating force that seemed to destroy the sky and destroy the earth swept in from outside, finally landed on the sword net that soared into the sky, causing the sword net to vibrate. Its color dimmed instantly, and it was crumbling. Many sword glows that had turned into part of the sword net showed clearly visible cracks, as if they might be broken at any time. This scene also made everyone in the Xia family change their faces. How is this going? Master Duan Lingtian can't stop the other party? Master Duan Lingtian cast the law of time. Is this his law avatar? At this moment, everyone guessed that the coming person must be the existence of the 7th level Xian, and they even vaguely guessed the identity of the other party, one of the existences of Xian's 7th order. They have also heard about the grievances between Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong, but they never think that Lei Hong dared to kill them because they are not easy to provoke, and there are 2 whole 7th level existences of Xian. Unexpectedly, Lei Hong finally came to kill him. Moreover, he came to the door when Lord Duan Lingtian himself was not around. This Lei Hong definitely knows that Lord Duan Lingshan's deity is not there. After thinking of this, everyone couldn't help but feel fear in their hearts. If Lord Duan Lingshan's deity is not there, and Lei Hong is the one who comes, they are afraid that they will die today. Duan Lingtian, your mere law avatar can't stop me. Outside, there was a disdainful voice. Today, I, Lei Hong, will destroy your legal avatar and Xia family, and let you know what will happen if you offend me, Lei Hong. In the next moment, a more powerful force swept in from the outside, just like the second wave pushing the first wave to impact and fall. It's over. The members of the Xia family were in despair. Really, region. And at this moment, the sword net that was about to be shattered in the sky suddenly extended 2 strange auras, which made the sword net seem to be strengthened in an instant. Even if Lei Hong's second wave of offensive came, it was still failed to break the sword net. Lei Hong outside was just a little puzzled. Before he had time to investigate the situation, Lei Hong, a cold shout spread across the sky, and at the same time, Duan Lingshan's true self stepped out above the Xia family's residence, looking directly at Lei Hong with his cold eyes. How can it be? Lei Hong's face changed drastically. He never expected that Duan Lingtian would come back so quickly. He was not in a small realm some distance from here and outside the realm. The newly promoted 7th level powerhouse Xue Qingzhu? Thinking of his second wave of offensive just now, he almost tried his best, but he still couldn't shatter the power rising inside. What does this mean? It means that there is a deity of the strongest 7th order powerhouse in it. Coupled with Duan Lingtian, who came back suddenly, he couldn't help but feel his scalp tingle. At this moment, he had only one thought left. Duan Lingshan's so-called sparring with people outside is just an illusion. The real purpose is definitely to catch him. And now, the one who blocked his attack at the Xia family's residence was most likely the strong Ming Han who had been lurking in the outside world earlier in the morning. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.